Perhaps you have seen it a few times now, or maybe you just caught it last night. Anyway, let me welcome the new viewers. But to you, thank you for being here as always. Now, the screen goes dark the second you walk in the room, and you've already trained yourself to call that normal. This isn't about jealousy, and it isn't about trust issues. This is about the exact moment you decided your own read of a situation was less trustworthy than the explanation you were handed. You know the moment. You walk into the room, and the phone flips face down half a second before you're close enough to see the screen. You ask who it is. You get the sigh first, then the answer. Just work. Just a coworker. Just the friend they've known since they were 12, the one you're not supposed to worry about because the history is so old. It's supposed to make the present harmless. And you go quiet, because asking again makes you the insecure one. Asking a third time makes you the problem in the relationship, not whatever's happening on that screen. So you swallow it. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. You watch yourself talk yourself out of the one thing you actually noticed correctly. You start managing your own reactions instead of managing the situation. You rehearse how casual you'll sound before you even ask. You time the question for a good mood, so it lands softer. You've turned your own suspicion into something you have to apologize in advance for having. You think you're being secure by not asking. You're actually just letting someone train you not to trust what you see. Here's what nobody says out loud in that moment. The label, just a friend, isn't a fact. It's a piece of language someone else handed you, and you accepted it, because accepting it was easier than sitting in the discomfort of being right. Here's what's actually moving through that phone, piece by piece, on purpose. They stopped telling you about the bad day at work. Not all at once, you'd have noticed that. Gradually. A story that used to come to you at dinner starts going to a group chat instead. A stress that used to get vented on your couch starts getting vented in someone else's replies. Nothing about your relationship blew up. It just slowly stopped being the place their life went first. The version of them that used to sit across from you at dinner is now typing paragraphs to someone they call just a friend. That's not an accident of proximity. Nobody accidentally sends someone 3 hours of their inner life on a Monday night. Seriously, on Monday? Nobody accidentally deletes a thread before walking through their own front door. Every one of those is a small, deliberate choice, repeated enough times that it built a second relationship running alongside the one you thought you were in. So when they call this an accident, a connection that just happened, are you going to accept that? Or are you going to ask why an accident needed that many repeated, deliberate choices to survive? Now the part that's actually about you. You didn't build the second relationship. You didn't send those messages. And you didn't make the choice to move a piece of yourself into someone else's inbox every day for months. That's theirs, entirely. But somewhere in the middle of all this, you had a read on the situation. A real one. The kind that shows up as a small, persistent discomfort every time the phone flipped over. Every time the explanation came a little too fast. Every time you were told you were the one being difficult for noticing a pattern instead of a moment. And you didn't trust it. You let the discomfort get relabeled as insecurity, because insecurity is a flaw you can apologize for. And being right about a betrayal in progress is a fact you'd have had to act on. Think about how many times that happened. Not once. Not a single missed signal you can excuse as bad luck. A repeated pattern over weeks or months, where the honest read and the accepted explanation pulled in opposite directions, and you picked the explanation every time. That's not a person who got fooled. That's a person who trained themselves out of their own instincts because the instincts were inconvenient. That's the actual choice you made, not falling for the lie once. And you choose it. It's you. Every time your gut said something was wrong, you choose not to believe it. You think you were giving them the benefit of the doubt? You were actually giving your own judgment away. one dismissed instinct at a time. So the next time something feels off and you're handed a calm, reasonable explanation for it, are you going to believe the explanation? Or are you finally going to believe yourself? Nobody's going to hand you back the months you spent doubting something you were right about. The friend was never the problem. The coworker was never the problem. The problem was every single time you caught yourself being right and talked yourself out of it anyway. Somewhere and somehow, they made their choice, and you're not in it. So right now, there is still one more choice left, the only right choice, the one that has been held since the beginning.